All right, folks, here we go. Welcome back to the Kiev Major. This is game number 2, Invictus Gaming versus mouz.Esports, formerly known as AdFinM. IG took game number 1 with a position 1 Venge, well executed. mouz just didn't quite have the resources to keep up in the mid-game despite having some superior late-game options. We'll see what they've got going on here in game number 2 of this best-of-3 series. I'm Zyori, joined again by Draskell. Andy, how you feeling here coming into game 2?
So I was thinking about it during the break, and the only thing I could think is, would they first phase ban LC? Because I actually think that was... No, obviously *Boboka played a phenomenal Riki, but as we already spoke about, you can't really justify first phase banning Riki. So the next best thing is getting rid of Legion. I feel like they were incredibly comfortable on that hero, and it just made it... It made it almost impossible to take a team fight. I mean, granted, you know, IG were usually the ones getting the jump, so it was kind of like this cohesive unit of having the Riki and the Legion together, but I really felt like that was one of the biggest issues that they had was, you know, iG.Xxs didn't really have much lane pressure on them. Yep, they're just going to freaking first pick it again. But, you know, this time, if mouz want, they can deny the Riki, and they can also pick their own countermeasures.
Yeah. Monkey King banned out here by mouz. So that is the one change that we see in the opening bans. The other 3 all repeats from last game.
It's kind of the same note as we were talking about in game 1, where it's just that IG had so much more map control because of the Riki as opposed to what the Monkey King was able to accomplish. So if you take one out by banning it and then you pick the other, you're pretty much getting rid of the opportunity of IG to be able to, you know, do anything to either of them. And obviously Dazzle, one of the go-tos, encountering Legion, Shallow Grave is phenomenal against the hero. Very long cast range as well. Yeah. So it's pretty much just a direct, I'm going to stop you from doing what you want to do. And then the next pick can pretty much be whatever. Because
do you
if
think they
IG
grab Axe? Do you think you try to block pick Axe, knowing that like since LC is the position 3, there's no way IG will go for it?
I don't think you take Axe. Okay. But there is always the opportunity that IG can ban it in the second phase, so that's one thing that you always have to worry about as well.
True.
But there are other heroes that can initiate. You know, it doesn't have to be an Axe. It's just there was a lot of emphasis on SkyLark that game to really make plays happen because of how, you know, abysmal pretty much every single fight went. So I'm thinking more along the lines of pretty much anything but Axe, and then you know, I would like to see them just pick Riki, honestly, but they can also do the same thing as we're talking about the Axe, where they just ban Riki in the second phase. I mean, if they think that IG are thinking about picking it up.
Yeah, I mean, Riki can be pretty effective against LC also. A Smoke Cloud can be an amazing tool just to mitigate the damage, you know, from heroes trying to kill the dual target. So there's definitely some options.
I mean, it's hard though. It's hard though to second pick Riki as well, because then you also have the situation where, you know, you're showing your support hand instantly. It's like, okay, we have Dazzle Riki. Feel free to pick heroes that don't care about Dazzle Riki in the next 4 picks. So it's a tricky situation to be in, but I guess avoiding it entirely is also another option. You know, now you're putting the emphasis on IG picking something now, and they're just going to go with what they had in the first game.
Yeah.
Just going to go ahead and take the Venge, and yep, there's the Riki ban.
So they will abide by the let's not fix what isn't broken. So 2 repeats, and Lifestealer, I think he was banned out in this second banning couplet in game number 1. So he was not an option. mousesports looking for some sort of an Infest Bomb carrier this game, no doubt. It's a good pick, though. Still
There's
a great
lot
carry.
Of them. I mean, ThuG plays Queen, he plays Puck, he plays pretty much, you know, every mobile mid hero in the book. So they have a lot of options.
Yeah.
I think that mouz most likely, you know, if they're worried about the Phoenix again this game because they have a Lifestealer core, they can just, you know, 4th ban Phoenix, because that actually, the synergy between the heroes was really strong. And it's also damage over time as well, to where they can, you know, get the kill. Even if you do get the Shallow Grave off, you just throw a Fire Spirit on the dual target when it's about to end, and then it kind of guarantees that the hero's going to die anyway. But they stick to the Warlock ban. They did this in game 1 as well.
Yeah.
Still a good ban. Very strong hero.
Limiting some of the big team fight potential. IG banning out one amazing Infest Bomb carrier, the Nyx Assassin. Also a pretty prominent off laner. Also sort of a flex pick. I guess you can put him in the 4. but still pairs very nicely with the lifestealer pretty much, regardless of what position he's in the laning stage.
Yeah, I feel like IG are a bit indecisive if they want to do the Venge core again just because of that ban. Because I feel like Venge in lane deals pretty well with Nyx, even though the synergy is there. You know, the synergy between the Nyx and the lifestealer, as you were talking about. So it kind of makes me think that maybe IG have a different idea for what they want to pick as their safe hero, or they're planning on doing some more aggressive laning this time and just are not going to have, you know, potentially as easy of a time in the safe lane as they did in game 1.
Well, IG thinking hard about this 4th ban, and they take out the Slardar. So another good Infest Bomb carrier. Of course, the Corrosive Haze now, formerly known as Amplified Damage. Combos very nicely with the Lifestealer.
Don't call it that. I hate that name.
What, the Corrosive Haze?
I'm going to call it Amp until the day I die, because it's Amp. It's always going to be Amp.
Corrosive Haze. Yeah, but once Lifestealer gets the Desolator, man, it's just, those two can find pickoffs all day.
Yeah, it's definitely strong, but I think that IG have the right approach. You know, they're banning out the smaller hero pool of the off lane as opposed to banning out Thug's hero pool, which he plays a lot of freaking heroes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, Slardar is a hero that kind of fell out of favor in lieu of like your Legion commanders and your axes, but it is still a very, very strong combination hero with Lifestealer in general. And plus, you know, you got Dazzle on top of that. We're not even taking into account things like Weave and like these extended team fights, which Dazzle loves.
Right.
He wants a team fight to last 25 seconds to where you have like minus 30 freaking armor.
Well, mouz go back for something else that they know from game 1. It's the Outworld Devourer. So not really a great Infest Bomb carrier for the mid lane. So thinking about mobile
It's a double
off-laners.
save though.
Yeah, that's true. Astral also great against duel. Or just a swap target.
Yeah, that's what I mean by the double save.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I like it. What about Centaur? Is he still feeling viable?
You mean for mouz?
For mouz, yeah.
Yeah, I actually like Centaur quite a bit against Legion, because it's like the Legion duels and then he either gets graved or he gets imprisoned, and then you Centaur ulti to catch up to the fight to wherever the duel is happening, and then you're just like 5 heroes on top of the Legion. It's really, really nice.
Yeah.
The problem with it is, though, is that you kind of have to pick it later into the draft, because if you pick it too early, then he's going to either have a really, really hard laning phase, or they're going to pick, you know, an adequate amount of disables to stop it. So, yeah, I actually do like...
Whoa.
Wow, triple save. Good lord, they are countering that Legion pick.
Yeah. Cold Embrace.
So now it's like, come at me, bro. Duel any one of our heroes and it's going to get saved.
You know, Andy, it's been a while since I've seen Winter Wyvern, actually. And there's Lena now for IG.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while either.
How is Wyvern right now? The ultimate still, you know, BKB piercing. It scales very well towards the late game. A hero that definitely has a lot of options. I mean, Splinter Blast is amazing wave clear. I guess there's no such thing as too much save, right?
That's the one nice thing, because, you know, you got these two heroes that sit ridiculously far away from where the action is happening. Like, Winter Wyvern can sit 1,000 range away. Dazzle can sit, you know, more than 1,000 range away if you get the cast range talents. So you got this very spread out team fight where Legion's looking for a dual target that she could potentially not be able to find at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have the potential of, okay, we all want to jump on this target that is getting dueled. But if we do that, we run the risk of getting cursed as well. And that's like another dangerous thing to think about, because, you know, Venge, not that long range. I'm pretty sure even with Dragonlance, you're probably still in curse range. So maybe not the best to deal, you know, dealing with the Wyvern having a Venge as a core. So maybe they decide to, like I mentioned before, go back and do something else. And the Silencer ban is like literally perfect.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing that can really screw you over when you're trying to set up around a Winter Wyvern ulti is, you know, a Global Silence coming out. Then, you know, he casts it right as the curse ends, and then you have this great counter initiation. They might actually take Centaur if it doesn't get banned.
Yeah, could be a likely ban here for IG. They've only got 15 seconds left, and they ban out Axe instead. So Centaur's still left in, and IG will have to decide what they want to do. Is it the position 1 Venge for burning, or will that become the support? They grab something else. The long range from Lena, though, not bad against the Winter Wyvern ult, potentially at least. She can sit in the far back.
They have picked Wraith King in the past for burning when they feel like the Venge core isn't going to work out for them. There's no... I guess OD does mana burn, I don't know if it's like super good this game, but it is a hero who can kind of stay in the front and make the enemy team use spells. Okay,
Well, they take
it's going to be the Weaver instead.
So it will be the
No, it's
support
really
bench.
strong. Like if you look at it in the way of like disables as a team, they pretty much only have Banish, Winter's Curse, and then I guess now Lasso, which it was a snap pick as soon as they saw the Weaver, because now they actually needed the catch. If they didn't need the catch, I think Centaur would have been a really nice option for them. But yeah, the Weaver last pick forcing them kind of into that bat. It's a hero that SkyLark plays a lot though, and I think that this time around, it's going to be really hard for that Legion. I'm looking at this lineup and I'm going, my God, I would not want to play Legion in this game.
I was thinking the same thing about Bat Rider. You've got Vengeful Spirit and LC, who are two individual great counters to the Lasso. You've got Swap and Press the Attack.
Yeah, that's true, but I mean, they really do need catch.
Yeah,
and you can't play around the idea that they're always going to be perfectly positioned 100% of the time. It just means you have to put more emphasis on having vision, and then, you know, if you have the proper vision, maybe you can get the initiation. But in regards to heroes that counter bat, yes, they do have a couple of very good ones.
Yeah, but I mean, you're totally right about the lockdown. That is definitely an issue with, you know, the lineup they had before that. It's like OD has a save, but it's not that same kind of traditional lockdown as the Lasso. So what do you think it here? Do you like the mouz drafts? Do they have a chance? Of course, IG the favorites as we come into game number 2 of the best of 3 series. What are you thinking, Andy?
I mean, they have a tremendous amount to deal with the Legion commander, but my biggest concern actually this time around is that they're going to have a hard time hitting buildings. So I'm still going to say I kind of favor IG. But we'll see how it goes. You know, anything can happen with a game with a Bat Rider. I've learned that lesson many times. Yeah,
that's definitely true. But you bring up a good point, and they had the Troll Warlord last time to help kind of quell that issue a little bit. But yeah, OD just does not siege particularly well. All right, here we go. Time of first tower destruction. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, time of first tower destruction? Good.
Yeah.
I have no idea when that's going to happen, honestly.
5 to 8. I don't know. That feels reasonable. Most observer wards.
It depends.
Yeesh.
Depends on how the lanes go out. Most observer wards, I think both teams will probably buy the same amount. At least I would hope so. If I ever see 4 wards in the shop during a pro game, I'm going to kind of scratch my head.
Total number of towers killed before 25 minutes. I think that's a 0 to 5. What a weird set of predictions. Number of ancients stacked by 30 minutes. Did you do 6 to 10?
6 to 10 is a lot, actually.
That is kind of a lot. Do they have enough? Yeah, maybe 0.5.
I would say less.
All right,
yeah,
you convinced me.
Less than that.
SkyLark is.
Well,
is
it's
he
every
okay?
2 minutes now.
Yeah,
he's
but
fine, dude. He's living his life.
Yeah, it's the dream. Whew. Life on the edge. A little invasion here from mouz.Madara. He wants himself a bounty room, but BoBoKa comes cruising on in. And they actually get it. Okay, very nice. Madara. I think they'll all live here.
I mean,
they
I don't even
take a lot of damage.
They have the shrine now.
Maybe it's not worth it.
I don't even think that's worth it. I actually don't think it is. Although I guess Spartan, you know, he gets his too.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if you get both of them, because you're kind of just paying for the salve that you just popped by picking it up and you're taking it away from them. So yeah, it is kind of worth it. But yeah, at the end of the day, oh god,
SkyLark. Yeah,
nice, okay.
Crafty plays. He takes the bug, so they will have some vision. Now BoBoKa comes rolling on in. He will have to pop the shrine already. Should be enough to keep him alive, I think. Firefly now used, but that vision from the bug is actually so obnoxious. Now he gets to finally finish off these creeps, or at least do some damage, and gets that lane equilibrium he was looking for. Whew.
Yeah, lots of running at heroes in the beginning of these games, it seems like.
Okay, so mid lane.
And you know, I think ThuG is going to have a... He's having a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a very dead Lina.
And she does not have a salve. So this is going to be a little window here where OP needs to play kind of defensive. I think he's got one coming out on the courier. No, it's another pack of tangos even. So I think OD should start to pull ahead here. So it'll be Bat Rider in this solo offlane situation. Here we go. BoBoKa rolling in. Follow-up magic missile from Q, and that's a first blood drawn by the Venge. 5 lucky viewers get a prize as IG find the first kill of the game.
No matter how many times you nerf Rolling Boulder, mouz.BoBoKa will still get kills. Doesn't matter. You can nerf it 100 times more, he's still gonna get kills.
Yep.
Unless it doesn't slow anymore, then maybe it'll stop.
Yes, I mean if they make it a complete garbage spell, then yes. But LC,
I mean, come on, they've nerfed this hero like 20 times.
Yeah.
Like literally 20 times.
I remember when they changed the speed compared to what it used to be, and everyone said, "Oh, that's it. The hero's dead. He can't. He's too slow now." And now it just feels normal. It's hard to imagine what it was like when he used to roll super fast. But jungling LC here, Xxs has given up on the lane, just went straight Iron Talon level 3 in the jungle. They're going to let Madara free farm and ensure some safe farm for the Legion commander.
It's already a very different game from mouz's perspective. You know, they don't have this constant threat of an annoying Riki running around the map and, you know, pressuring the supports super hard. I think that's kind of what crippled them in game 1 is, you know, Spartan and MNT just really couldn't have as much of an impact as they would have liked just because of the draft. And this time around, you know, you can sit down there as Spartan, you can chain pull, you know, the Legion's not going to show in lane until you start to push the tier 1. There's ample amounts of space for the supports to get, you know, everything they want out of the early game.
Yeah. Well, so far so good. SkyLark in the off lane gets a stack. He's level 3, so he can actually kill these pretty easily with a couple stacks of sticky and the Firefly damage. But mouz.BoBoKa just hanging out in the mid lane. He finally gets his level 2. But maybe next time, also keeping ThuG safe. Pops an Arctic Burn, as well as a Splinter Blast. What a hero. Long forgotten Winter Wyvern.
Yeah, it's been quite a while, actually, since I've seen a Winter Wyvern game. But the hero's still very strong. I mean, the cast radius on Curse is 500. I was actually talking earlier about how I actually think that it's longer than Venger's attack range, even with a Dragon Lance. And it is. So... Or no, sorry, it's a little bit shorter. So unless he's standing like maximum distance from the dual target, he's going to eat the curse too.
Yeah, we'll see if it ends up being a good pick. You always have to be careful with the timing on that ultimate. It can be a bit of a double-edged sword at times, but I've got some faith here. Looking at CS in the mid lane, Lina actually doing just fine. Out-CSing ThuG right now as mouz.BoBoKa comes rolling in. OP does have the LSA, but it's off the mark. And now ThuG gets aggressive, lays in the right clicks. The orb isn't going to be enough. They need one more, and it's maybe next time that finds the kill. ThuG taking tower shots will be able to walk away, and now mouz.BoBoKa, Splinter Blast, they'll have the kill. It's a twofer in the mid lane. mouz, strike back early, 2-1. Maybe next time, though, could still be in some trouble. Has to pop the Ice Cube. Xxs on the way in. No duel, no way to stop this TP, but he does have the damage. Overwhelming odds is there. It's level 2, and he gets it. Very nice.
Holy crap, he's almost level 6.
Yeah.
It's not even 5 minutes into the game. I mean, he did just get a solo support kill, but still, almost level 6. He doesn't even need the lane. He just accumulates massive amount. I think he's actually more farm than he was in game 1 when he had a lane.
Yeah, he's
the highest net worth in the game.
Exactly, he's ahead of the Batrider, who's had a fairly good laning stage by Batrider standards. He's just stacking and farming here.
Yeah, I mean, they're relatively equal. If you gave... you know, SkyLark a support kill, he'd probably be roughly where Xxs is right now.
Okay,
but please stop perpetuating the Jungle Legion stereotype. I hate it. I hate that he's doing so well because I'm just going to keep seeing this, even though he's on a pro team and they have, you know, very good communication skills and he understands when he needs to contribute to the game. Anyway.
Exactly. It can work.
Yeah,
it can work, but it's all about knowing when to show your face in the lane and not just disappearing for the first 15 minutes of the match in the jungle killing neutrals. I think that's the key difference we're talking about here, Draskell.
Well, that and he's not going to buy Midas first item.
Yeah. Very true. Let's hope not, at least. All right, so things quieting down a little bit. SkyLark, he heads back to lane. That's now level 6 on the Batrider, as well as his Tranquil Boots.
I mean, this is really nice for mouz comparatively. Like, they can just sit around, you know, wait for their heroes to get their core items, wait for SkyLark to get his Blink, get the Lifestealer, his Armlet, and then... Oh, he's actually going Midas. Okay. I mean, he does have pretty much a free lane, so it makes sense. Yeah. When you have this amount of free farm, you can definitely go Midas and the Lifestealer. The benefit of the attack speed is not lost on him.
Yeah.
Top lane?
Oh, SkyLark getting dove here. Burning does connect with the Scarabs. Again, the vision very important, but they won't dive it. And SkyLark will be just fine. He'll be able to regen up, compliments those Tranquil Boots. But yeah, I mean, Madara he's literally just free farming. So this is a nice, well-timed Midas. It should pay off pretty quickly.
I think they have really good defensive measures too. So it's not like, you know, IG can just haphazardly run at mouz and hope to win fights. There's way too many like saves. You got Winter Wyvern, you got Dazzle, you have Astral Imprisonment on the OD. It's going to be a much harder game for Xxs to just, you know, casually blink in and get the dual target and just be like, okay, we won.
Yeah.
I think this is actually looking much better for mouz.
Absolutely, especially compared to the last game. SkyLark getting a little bit aggressive here. He did skill up Lasso at 6. Dazzle's sort of been lingering behind in case they dive him again. No Shallow Grave, though. Very aggressive build coming out from Spartan. A 2-0-2 at level 4. Kind of surprised by that. Whoa. Okay. Looks like Lina dropped the combo on ThuG and just brought him down. Sorry about that one, folks. Down bottom now, we have a duel onto the lifestealer. It's a 3-on-1, and this should be a nice pickup for IG. Easy duel damage. Plus 10 on the LC. Okay, so just like that, 2 cores of mouz destroyed, sent to the grave, Draskell.
Yeah, that was the... Like, ThuG solo died, and then instantly bought a raindrop. That's the I'm playing against Lina and didn't have a raindrop in my inventory death. It kind of happens from time to time.
Yeah.
If the Lina player is really skilled, he knows exactly how much combo his damage does, and then just blows you up when you're just, you know, not expecting it.
Yeah, when you're like right at that threshold break point. Down bottom, maybe next time. Almost in trouble, but the TP comes in, and IG will just back up after clearing out some neutrals. Okay, 2-4. Still a relatively even game.
I'm actually kind of surprised that IG... the thing that kind of bothers me, though, is it was so easy for IG to get the kill on the safe lane.
Yeah.
Like, they saw the Midas purchase, probably, and were like, all right, let's try to go for this. But if you look at the warding from mouz, they pretty much have no protection on the safe lane. All the warding is pretty much for SkyLark and ThuG. So those two heroes are going to be extremely difficult to kill, but OD is hard to kill anyway. I think even with a successful roll.
Oh, ThuG mid lane takes the Laguna. Able to get off the Astro, and it looks like this time he'll survive. All right. OP kind of just dominating here, you know, forcing the Shrine. Gets a little bit of solo time in the lane. Looks like he's just trying to keep the Laguna on cooldown. He also had a double damage rune there, so I guess if he gets off one more spell, he finds the kill.
Yeah, he would have had to have double charged, though. He actually didn't have enough mana to Dragon Slave when he got banished.
Oh, is that?
By the way, have you looked at IG's jungle? Like, in the middle of their jungle, they have a couple of stacks.
Yeah, a couple of toonies. Yeah, that's great.
Supports have been busy.
Is OD looking for a Midas here? He's got the Gloves of Haste, but doesn't have a recipe queued up. I worry about double Midas for mouz. Oh, mid lane, set up onto the OD. Maybe it's a setup the other way. SkyLark comes flying in. Lasso onto Lina, BoBoKa TPs, but no way to help his friend. It's a 4-on-1. Wow. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, though, they pick off the Nakes again. Simultaneous kills, 1-for-1 across the map. And it will be another victorious duel here for the Legion Commander.
This guy is so good at Legion. Like, look at his farm. He's almost 1k net worth ahead of a Midas free farm lifestealer.
Yeah.
This is, like, completely ridiculous. He's got 2 duel wins as well in a 10-minute game.
Yeah.
Both on the hard carry of
It's an
mouz.
incredible
This is, like, the absolute... It's the best start. Like, you actually can't get better than this, I think.
I mean, 10-minute armlet
tower kills
on this hero is incredible. You know, there's certain games where Blade Mail is just the item on LC, and in this situation, with armlet on in a duel in the next, 2 to 5 minute window, he can pretty much solo kill anybody he wants if it's a 1v1 situation. Lina now in the jungle starting to clear out some of these stacks. That'll be nice for OP. I think he's moving into a Veil. Maybe just double null tally, but kind of has the setup for it.
I think he might just go Bloodstone. I don't think you
Just
buy
straight Bloodstone.
casual Soul Ring on Lina.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think you get the double null for the laning phase.
Okay.
So you can like attempt to outlast at the OD, and then you just transition into another item.
Yeah. All right, that makes sense. Yeah, the Bloodstone is pretty core on her, especially since they changed the respawn time talent. Xxs set up on up top. A lot of reinforcements for mouz nearby, but Lifestealer taking huge damage under the tower. Lasso, but counter initiation stun. Ooh, Winter Wyvern's there with the ult. It finds a kill. Very nice. mouz get a second one as they bring down the Legion Commander. It's a 2-0. They go back in onto OP. 3 stacks of sticky. He's got nowhere to go. He drops the Laguna, but SkyLark turns, brings him down. It's a huge fight for the Radiant, maybe even 4. BoBoKa now slowed down under the tower. The right clicks are there. A 4-0. BurNIng trying to lay in a little bit of extra damage, but he just doesn't have it. My God, the Greeks erupting with a furious momentum. It's a 2K net worth swing.
Yeah, that was... I actually can't believe that went so well, because there was a duel under a tier 1 tower of IG, and they still managed to turn it around. Really nice infest bomb there from Madara, keeping himself alive for like the couple of seconds they needed to turn that around. They get the lasso after the duel ends, pull Xxs further into the Firefly, ensuring that he's not going to be able to toggle his way out. I can't actually believe that they won that fight so handedly. Now, I think not everyone from IG was there right away, and BurNIng was also a bit late to the fight as well.
Yes, that was definitely a factor. And also BoBoKa, the only hero not level 6 right now. Maybe a few of those Radiant heroes rolled over after that fight, but no Magnetize definitely hurt the damage output of IG. A lot of low health heroes on mouz that probably would have been dead if BoBoKa had that ult.
He rolled in like he had it too. As soon as he rolled in, I clicked on him and I was like, oh, he's only level 5. That's unfortunate for him.
And speaking of unfortunate, he's going to roll through the trees. They might still be able to catch him. Batrider grabs him with a lasso. Follow-up damage is plentiful. And they get, maybe not exactly a freebie. He does manage to get the ward down that he came for, but it'll cost him his life. And no sentries right now, so the ward will stay standing at least for the moment.
They'll know, though. Like, there's no reason BoBoKa is just, like, chilling there, not doing anything. It's really... It's like the worst thing in the world to be a support and just get spotted out like that, because then the enemy team just goes, wonder why he was there.
Especially when you're just by yourself, completely alone. It's, Lincoln Sphere.
Yeah, there's even 2 sentries on that courier already. Like, these are getting dewarded almost 100%.
Spartan's already dropped 1.
Unless he misses both of his sentries, in which case that would be unfortunate.
We'll see. And there's the other observer, and there's the other sentry. Okay, maybe they don't know Draskell.
It is a guessing game. I mean, there are a lot of places you can ward on the Radiant side if you're dire.
True.
Like, you can ward in the middle by the bounty rune, like they did. You can ward, in that little tri-bush spot. They're gonna lose their Venge in the top as well.
Yeah.
Didn't even use lasso.
A little surprising. Yeah, lasso was still on cooldown. I didn't think they'd be able to pick up a kill quite that easily. If anything, thought it might erupt down bottom. BurNIng, just going straight for the Lincolns, actually, before boots even. He's picked up the recipe now. So we might see IG stay a little bit more timid until that item comes out. Always a big pickup on the Weaver, especially against the Batrider who doesn't have a Force Staff yet. No easy way to break the Lincolns.
God, yeah, that's actually going to be so annoying for him. Like, SkyLark's going to need Blink Force and then an additional item to break Lincolns.
Yeah.
Because if he doesn't have another item on top of that, he'll never be able to Force Staff himself away, and then he'll be stuck walking backwards and then just probably get swapped.
I think Yule's is the value go-to there for Batrider. He gets the regen, the movement speed.
Yeah, it's definitely good. Uh-oh.
Top, OD, he's in deep. ThuG is surrounded. That'll be another duel set up for Xxs. And that'll be now 34 extra damage on him. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Q caught out again. Infest Bomb, Madara finds the kill. They go 1 for 1 across the map. OD for Vengeful Spirit.
They do end up getting the D-ward between the tier 1 and the tier 2 as well. So
nice.
mouz have full vision of their own side of the map, and no aggressive wards from either team, actually.
Very even game right now, Draskell. Gold graph just about zeroed out. IG with a very slight XP advantage. But as we've said a couple times, very different looking mouz squad compared to game number 1. They did, in fact, go for the double Midas that I was a little nervous about on their 2 big cores. But so far, it seems to be paying off. Force Staff just about to come out on OD. So that'll make him extra hard to kill. Here we go. More initiation. Non-stop Blink Dagger lassos from the Batrider. They'll catch LC, but the swap from Venge actually keeps him alive. Q will pay with his life, of course. Still only a 1-0. They don't get the high-prized target of the Legion Commander, but maybe they can grab a little bit more here. Flame Break does connect on the Lina, but that'll be the end of it. 1-0.
Yeah, poor Q, man. He's died like 3 times in a row now. Like, he died top, then he died in the river, then he died swapping his teammate to save him. It is a very unforgiving Vengeful Spirit game, but it's kind of the role he has to play, No one else can save the core but him. I mean, BoBoKa can roll in, but he's not gonna be doing anything against a lasso, so...
Yep.
I think this is one of those games where, you know, iG.Xxs has had a phenomenal start, and I'm looking at his hero, and I'm just looking at mouz's team, and I just keep coming back to this one thing, and it's, can he keep just getting duels? Because there are 3 hard saves on mouz. And as soon as a real team fight breaks out, I think we're going to see the limitations of that hero against mouz's lineup.
Smoke rotation. They'll catch the Outworld Devourer. No saves nearby, so it's not coming quite yet. That'll be another kill for the Dire. Swap forward. They jump onto the Winter Wyvern. He does have the Winter's Curse. Not going to be able to get it off quite yet. Shallow Grave from Dazzle. Now the lasso onto LC again. There's an Infest Bomb inside. Madara does find the kill, but they finish off the Winter Wyvern. Now BoBoKa trying to go blow for blow with Lifestealer. He gets off the Magnetize before going down, and they'll finish off Spartan in the backline, but alas, BoBoKa does fall. It's a 2 for 3. mouz on the defensive now, just trying to survive through that Magnetized damage, and they will with their last 2 remaining cores. So overall, still works out well for IG. They get the net worth gain, and of course, they also get that extra damage on the Legion Commander. Now a lot of pressure onto this Tier 1 tower mid. Madara takes the Laguna to the face, but not enough to finish him off, but maybe enough to push them back so they can finish off the tower. Indeed it is. It's BurNIng that gets the last hit there, and he will scurry his way to the secret shop now to pick up that prized Lincoln's Sphere.
And I don't think he's going to die the rest of the game. Like, just having that item pretty much makes him not invincible, but, you know, pretty darn close. That's the one other issue. You know, we talked about mouz's high ground potential. When you're trying to go high ground against, like, Lina spam, there's a Weaver, there's even Avenge who can, like, swap you into the base, and your only high ground hero is a melee hero, that's not a place you want to be. You want to be able to, like, get Roshan a few times in a row, constrict, you know, IG's movement as much as possible, which again is going to be hard with BurNIng already having a Lincoln's. As well as they're doing, their lineup kind of needs to be playing from this position at the same time.
Yeah, I feel like we're starting to see the reliance on the Infest Bombs as well. Once they get that pick, it looks good for mouz, but then after that's done, it seems like they're light on damage. There's the save onto the OD after the duel comes out, but a lot of follow-up damage. The double save, Grave after the Ice Cube. Madara jumps out. Now OP could take some return damage, popped by the Flame Break. Everyone's still alive on Invictus Gaming, and they've found 2 kills now on the OD as well as the Winter Wyvern. Roll forward. They do actually catch the Lifestealer, magnetized from BoBoKa. He might have to pay with his life, but BurNIng just starting to run circles around the backline. Press the attack, buys BoBoKa a little bit of extra time. No rage, magic missile slowing down Madara, and now on the retreat as BurNIng gets to the high ground to chase him down. XXS still has a while before the duel comes back up. mouz on the retreat, limited ways to slow him down, but they are running out of HP. Armlet toggling might be the only way Madara can live, and it will keep him alive. Batrider, though, won't be so lucky. Fight gone on long enough now that the Winter Wyvern and the Dazzle have respawned. So IG take that as a sign to back up and be happy with their spoils. Another victorious fight for the Dire, this one in much greater bound. It's a 1 for 4 and about a 2K net worth swing, all things considered, with a 750 loss on the side of the Radiant. Man, that was all the Lifestealer, the only hero doing damage on the side of mouz.
Well, I mean, if you look at the way things broke down, they dueled ThuG, and then he got imprisoned first. Or sorry, not imprisoned. What the heck is his save called? Cold Embrace. I always blank on the name. Yeah, he got Cold Embraced, and then he got Graved, and then he imprisoned himself, and then he still died. Like, after all those things. And I think the biggest issue is that, for whatever reason, Weaver's Swarm persists through Astral Imprisonment. So you heard it here first. Bugs just don't care about different dimensions. They just stay there. And I have no idea why it works like that, but unfortunately, it kind of ended up getting him killed.
It must have something to do with, you know, they say cockroaches and Twinkies are the only 2 things that'll survive some sort of nuclear fallout. So I guess it stands to reason that the Scarabs, they're trans-dimensional creatures, Draskell. I mean, come on. It fits with the lore. If Slacks was here, he would explain to you how it fits the lore of Weaver and his ability to cut time throughout dimensions, right?
Well, as much as I love Jake, thank God he's not here to tell me that, because I just don't want to hear it. I just don't. But as far as the way that IG's draft is starting to come together, we talked a little bit about how they kind of maybe almost even overcompensated to save for the Legion because they have so many heroes with those saves that they just lack pick. So the only hero that can actually go for a kill right now is SkyLark with the Lifestealer Bomb, and that is it. That is their, we're going to go in and get a kill. So all IG really has to do is, you know, they can show burning wherever because he's got a Lincoln's, and if they jump him, it's pretty hard to kill. They will get the kill on the Lina, though.
Yeah,
in the
it's a
meantime,
nice little
as he
pick
shows
off.
top.
So IG,
But they're just going to go straight for Roche.
Exactly. And it's a nice heads-up play. They see how spread out they are across the map, know that they can kill Roche faster than the other team can rotate. However, maybe next time he's in the pit looking for the ultimate, he will find it. Not enough for the kill on Venge. It's close. But the follow-up's not quite there. An aggressive swap forward. Q knows he's likely to die anyway and wants to try to set up a kill. Roche goes down. They get the Aegis. Now Madara, he's the one that takes the Laguna. Spartan stays alive, complements the Cold Embrace, and now the fight getting very spread out. Shallow Grave buys him a little bit more time, but mouz starting to run out of resources. Both supports down, but BoBoKa jumps forward onto SkyLark. And this is likely to be at least a 1 for 3. OD looks like he's getting chased down by the Weaver, perhaps. No, he's stuck on the high ground, actually. So he will survive. Do they know he's here? It doesn't look like it. And there we go.
Their ward was on a low ground.
Yep. So either way, 1 for 3. Another very convincing fight for Invictus Gaming, and they still have the Aegis on the Weaver after all that.
I mean, they're never going to kill that hero even once. So, I mean, to a degree, I almost even think it's a waste to put it on BurNIng because he's just not going to die. I mean, what chain of events actually has to unfold for BurNIng to die in this game? Like, he needs to somehow get his Lincolns broken. He needs to be lassoed, pulled into the enemy team, without anyone on IG doing anything at all.
Yeah,
Right?
I guess
he basically has to die like Madara died in the first game when he was bottom solo against 4 heroes. That's what needs to happen.
I had one suggestion, and now that window is closing. I was thinking maybe if OD drops the ult and they burn all of his mana so he can't Shikuchi away or time lapse, but time lapse has a 0 mana cost in just 1 level. So,
well, he's got a stick too, so even if he does get mana burn, he can just pop his stick and then ulti.
You know, that's a great point, Draskell. So yeah, I agree with you. I don't think they have the tools. This is a great 5th pick. It's turning out here from IG.
Dude, Q is one hell of a drafter. I would actually say, you know, after watching the first game kind of unfold, I would say they did outdraft mouz. Maybe not by like a huge margin, but you know, it was enough to where it put mouz behind and they weren't able to pull themselves back in with a more late game oriented lineup. This time around, it's becoming way more apparent, like the deficit of mouz's draft and what it cannot deal with, and that's pretty much just mobility.
Yeah. And like on paper, you would never look at a draft and expect an LC to do this well in this kind of a situation. But in the first 5-10 minutes of the game, I mean, iG.Xxs farmed like an absolute madman and still, as we talked about, had 20-30 duel damage in the first 10 minutes. Hops forward. He does find himself a dazzle. That's even more duel damage going his way. And OD, he's also going to get caught out here. Swap back down to the low ground to make it a nice, easy pick-off. Dragon Slave for the final blow. 2 down on the side of mouz, and now we'll see Invictus Gaming push up the mid. Though mouz, they've got some options up top. They will do some split push, so maybe we'll see a tower for tower trade. But the problem here, Dire push just a little bit faster.
Yeah, but they don't really have a choice. Like, even if they were to TP back, you know, right after they kill this, which they may, it's not as if they can really do anything about their tier 2 dying.
True.
And they don't really want to make ThuG buyback. So Madara is just going to stick around, maybe get, you know, 1 or 2 more creeps, and then decide to just bail as IG run towards the tier 2 of the safe lane. But
mouz make
the last pick, I mean, yeah, they're doing what they can. You know, Madara has a Deso and everything, so it's not like he's doing small amounts of damage. He actually hits super hard. His problem is, what is his reliable uptime in a team fight?
Yeah.
How often is he actually physically hitting a hero?
Yeah, exactly. LC with a halberd now. The mighty Lincoln's Breaker.
Yeah, the Legion pick for me has kind of been the star of both games, even though I will say that the last pick Weaver has also done a tremendous amount of work. It's just the flexibility of the hero is what's making it so hard for mouz, because the hero obviously scales. He has good initiation, it farms fast, it has some form of like D-push, it's pretty good in team fights, and pick potential. Like it literally offers almost everything. Yeah. The only bad thing about it is that if you have a super bad laning phase and you have nowhere to go, because it is item oriented. That's like its one biggest downfall. But in both games, you know, iG.Xxs has had a really easy time. They had 2 defensive supports, so no one's going to walk into his jungle. He just farms. He's like, okay, whatever. You guys can do what you do. I'm going to hit creeps, and I'm going to get a 10-minute blink armlet and then kill your safe laner twice.
That actually sums it up pretty effectively. You know, we see the Bat Rider here with the surprise inside, looking for some sort of a gank opportunity, but not finding the opening that they were hoping for. He did drop a ward down on the plateau, so getting some good scouting intel of the Lina's movements. But they opt to just back out. mouz not going to force it. BurNIng, trying to chase down Winter Wyvern, but there is a Glimmer Cape, so going to be hard to find this kill. And he can't. There we go. Back in the mid lane here. What do we got? That is Madara finding a kill onto the Lina. Looks like that Infest Bomb finally got the opening.
Yeah, he was really close to Lincoln's too. It's unfortunate. He's actually only like 550 away, give or take.
Takes him down to
but
6
at this
Bloodstone
point,
charges.
I don't. Yeah, he doesn't really care about that so much though. As long as you get the Lincolns and you have the Bloodstone, you're gonna have like sufficient regen. You're not gonna be hurting for mana or anything like that.
True.
And the nice thing is, you know, the rest of his team is always farming. mouz have to commit a lot just to being able to get, you know, one of those kills. It's kind of just crazy to me how often that kind of stuff has worked as Boboka, baiting it out a bit here.
Strategic so far. Astral Imprisonment, BurNIng. Taking a couple of tower shots, but OD will be able to back off as he blinks defensively. Now the surprise inside comes in, but LC there with the counter initiation catches the duel on Madara. They do find the kill, though Astral delays it about half a second longer. Invictus Gaming with the advantage, but they are going to play it a little bit more defensive. And wait for mouz to strike as they regroup. Nice kill, though, on the Lifestealer.
Yeah, it was kind of unfortunate that all ThuG could really do was banish the Legion.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not really going to save the Lifestealer, but I mean, it did mitigate a little bit of the damage that he was dealing. It's kind of unfortunate that they didn't have, they didn't use anything on him, right? They didn't, like,
no
Cold Embrace, they didn't grave him.
Yeah, I guess they just weren't quite in position. It was, the LC had a really good small window there and caught it almost perfectly. I mean, again, we've been crediting iG.Xxs a lot, but, you know, another perfect duel in that situation.
He just seems to get them. And the crazy thing is, a lot of the time they're fighting, he doesn't even really have full vision of the backline. He's just going in. He's like decided that, okay, if I see the Lifestealer or I see the OD, I'm just going to duel. Because one of two things is going to happen. They're going to use all their saves on that one hero because they have to. And then my Weaver is going to kill their whole team because they're not going to have any saves left and they have no lockdown. That's pretty much how every single team fight goes. Yeah. They use all their saves on the dual target, and then they can't save themselves from the infinitely mobile Weaver with a Desolator, a Lincoln's, and a Diffusal Blade.
Yeah, the addition of the Diffusal makes that even more scary. Of course, the mana burn factor, but also the slow. Oof, already a very difficult hero to get away from. OD, Blink Dagger, Hurricane Pike. He's gone for mobility items. Kind of a necessity for ThuG, but you know, just limiting his damage output at this stage of the game. You know, he still hits pretty hard given that he's OD, but you know, compared to BurNIng, he's not really that intimidating.
Yeah, again, it's just the mobility factor. And when you have those types of discussions, you normally talk about, okay, well, what are your forms of initiation? And as we keep coming back to, mouz pretty much only have one. I mean, fortunately, you know, SkyLark's got a Midas and everything, so he'll eventually be able to get to that point where he's got the Lincoln's breaking item, and he's also going to be able to force that himself away. That's the key point in the game where they can kill BurNIng. Because BurNIng does not have boots, and the Batrider has a gem. So if he Shikuchi's at an opportune time, and SkyLark has that proper item combination, he can definitely die. It's just taking a very, very long time to get to that point.
Yeah. Well, BurNIng almost at BKB coming up next, so will be even more difficult to kill. Almost impossible. And mobility items out on iG.BoBoKa. Also, the Solar Crest upgraded on Q. So a lot of big item upgrades coming out on the Dire. Yeah. And also Assault Kuras out on Madara. A great team fight item, of course. And MKB on the horizon next.
Well, as soon as he gets his own AC, iG.Xxs picks up his. So it's kind of nullified to a degree.
Lasso finds iG.BoBoKa. This is a nice pick off to start the fight for mouz. But follow up from IG. They go on to the Winter Wyvern. ThuG with the defensive Astral. Madara nearby breaks the Lincolns on BurNIng. I think IG might just back out, cut their losses. And there's the TP's home.
That was a really nice disengage there from IG. They did get the D ward though. SkyLark managed to hit it while he had the Firefly going, so they were a bit hesitant to go up into that really kind of spread out team fight after they already lost iG.BoBoKa.
Yeah.
And they're gonna get everyone out. So I mean, at the end of the day, it's a D ward, it's a support kill. Roshan's not up yet. Would have been really nice for mouz if the Roshan timer hadn't been quite this long, but
yeah, unfortunately,
they might be able to pressure the tier 1.
Definitely put some pressure on. They've got the Desolator. And the glyph will come out. IG without iG.BoBoKa, they really don't want to pick a fight. Or maybe I'm wrong. There's the duel coming in. They drop it onto the Outworld Devourer, but he does survive even through the Laguna. Astral keeps him alive just a little bit longer. Winter's Curse out onto the Legion Commander, but ThuG falls, as does Maybe next time, almost immediately afterwards. And once, like as you pointed out, once they're done with their saves, it's just amazing how quickly the mouz heroes fall.
Yeah, it's, again, the supports are actually super squishy on their own. They don't really have anything to protect themselves from burning. Like, even a Glimmer Cape's not enough. If he's fast on his Diffusal Blade, like he knows you're going to Glimmer yourself, then he just purges it right away, and then you're just dead. There's really nothing they can do about it.
Buyback from Winter Wyvern now as the high ground's being sieged. Remember, there is a Desolator on burning. No more glyph. It was just used by the Radiant. This will be at least one lane of barracks here. They focus down the melee first. Infest Bomb inside of SkyLark. He's thinking about jumping in, but they've already lost the melee barracks, and now they're hesitating. You can see the Lincoln's buff on iG.Xxs. And they won't even go for it. IG will be happy to get that tier 3 tower, some melee barracks, and they head right into the Roche pit. Now smoke up from our Radiant squad, mouz.Esports. They won't get there in time. The Roche just evaporates. Wow, that was a fast Roche. A double damage rune on Weaver. That would explain it. So a small stroke of luck there for IG damage on top of it. Yeah.
It was like double damage, Wave of Terror, Solar Crest. Like, even without a DD, that Roche would have died. Like, there's no way that mouz were going to be able to contest. They had to go late, though, because ThuG was still dead. He had like 6 or 7 seconds left on his respawn timer when they actually smoked, so even if they had gotten there, it would have been awkward.
Up top, almost finding LC, but able to blink away in time. Now the cavalry has arrived. IG, they want to counter-initiate. BurNIng goes, charges in. He drops a charge onto Madara. He'll get Glimmer Cape, but Batrider gets left behind, and SkyLark gets that first-class ticket back to the grave. Now iG.BoBoKa rolling on in. They catch the Winter Wyvern. More dual damage to the LC. And Dazzle died somewhere in the mix. Now another stun from iG.BoBoKa, but Force Staff will keep Madara safe. 3 down in exchange for none. IG may just continue the assault here. They're going to rotate bottom, it looks like, and with 3 down, they also have Aegis. I think they can push in here, Draskell. Maybe they'll stop off for the shrine first.
Yeah, I mean, it's the discipline play to go for the shrine. But at the same time, I don't think they have anything to be scared of. Yeah, you can see XSS and BurNIng are just like, yeah, whatever. We don't care. We're just going to hit your buildings. You got 3 heroes dead. We got a Solar Crest and a swap just in case something happens to go awry and our Legion has over 100 dual damage.
I mean, this is brutal, though, dude.
God.
This is a tier 3 down. The Batrider has to buy back. And OD takes a lot of damage to start off the fight. Now Madara goes charging in. Astral onto iG.Xxs. I mean, even if mouz hold the barracks here, this is still so costly. Blink forward, lasso, onto the Lina. They'll find a kill there. IG can't get in time. Winter's Curse now onto the Vengeful Spirit. The damage isn't quite enough, but ThuG follows up at the end, and maybe IG bit off more than they could chew. They do finish off the melee barracks, but with 3 down, they try to retreat. Legion Commander has nowhere to go, healing up pretty damn well, but 1v5 cannot live. Ensures the survival of the Weaver, and ThuG gets his triple kill. One hell of a swing. That's 6,000 gold. A big gain. They did have to use a buyback, which was not accounted for on here. But still, big fight for mouz.
I mean, it was big in the sense that they killed a lot of heroes, but they still lost their racks.
That's true.
And
they didn't
get the Aegis off of BurNIng either. Yeah, they didn't manage to hold. Ooh, I don't really know what the comeback is here from mouz, you know, because normally when you make a comeback play, you typically need some way of starting a fight. Whether it be, you know, walking into a building, which seems to be what mouz is going to go for here, or, you know, smoke up into gank a hero. Those are pretty much the best 2 ways. And it seems like the former is going to be the choice here for mouz. If they can force IG to run into them in like an awkward angle, it could work.
Batrider grabs a lasso on the back line, doing some decent damage, but his teammate isn't up with him. Laguna comes out, and they just turn it on him. The coordination is not there from mouz. Swap back onto the Lifestealer. Glimmer Cape not going to keep him alive, but he is raged up. He's trying to win this right-click war. He does get the Shallow Grave, brings down the Venge. Cold Embrace buys him a little bit of extra time. Now the Astral, he does stay alive. BurNIng trying to go blow for blow with the OD, and he is not winning that battle. Time Lapse will pick him back up. Lifestealer inside of one of the neutrals. Pops back out, not going to be enough to save the OD. It's one of these long, drawn-out fights, and the sustainability from mouz is doing so much work. BurNIng, though, unstoppable, finally finishes off the dazzle. Madara, invisible, looking to TP home, and he will make it. Another nice disengagement from mouz, but a costly fight in the end. They don't even get the tier 2 tower that they wanted, and they do trade only 2 for 3.
Like BurNIng, he's got this Aegis in his inventory, and I'm just looking at it and I'm going, this is the second Aegis this game he's gonna have that's not even gonna get popped. He's just gonna have it expire.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, just give it to like your freaking Lina, for crying out loud. OP is having such a hard time because he keeps getting like the life stealer on him. You know, she doesn't have any innate escapes, and it's pretty much only built items to either farm or get the Lincolns to protect from things like lassos. So it's just kind of funny because, I mean, obviously it's the optimal thing to do to give the Aegis to your core, but BurNIng's been playing so well on the hero anyway that he just hasn't really ever been punished for anything. Like, he hasn't died.
Yeah, 10-0 and 8. And it's been a flawless game for BurNIng's Weaver so far. They melted the tier 2, and now this tier 3 dying to the sniper rifle of Lina.
He just cursed the Lincolns. That's a rip.
Yeah. And they just realized, oh wait, there's a shrine. Free money.
Yes. Sometimes this happens, though, in a game where you kind of get, I wouldn't say wrecked, but you get pretty soundly beaten in the first game by a specific hero. And then you start to think to yourself, man, that hero like totally destroyed us. What can we do to deal with it? And then you like overcompensate. And you pick Dazzle and Wyvern together. And there's a really big reason why you usually don't pick 2 defensive supports as Spartan. Not gonna actually get dueled here.
Yeah.
Oh, they're going for
they want the real target. They're gonna go up top. Madara will survive through it. Never mind. There's the Laguna from OP, and that's a dead life stealer with no buyback in the grave for 80 seconds. This very well could be the GG moment. They'll swap back the Bat Rider, also down for 70. Now this tier 3 tower standing. There is no glyph for the Radiant. OP just pops the BKB and goes structure sieging mode. I think this very likely to be Megas here, Draskell.
Yeah, I think this is GG. I mean, no buybacks, so
yeah,
no life stealer means that this range Rax is not long for the world.
Yep, no
BurNIng's
glyph.
like 6 slotted pretty much.
No way to stop it. OD jumps forward, one last-ditch effort. There's the Cold Embrace, keeps him alive. Winter's Curse does bring down BoBoKa, but to what end? Without any buybacks here on the Radiant cores, it just doesn't make a difference. Xxs gets one more duel, and that'll be it. GG, well played is called. It's 2-0 for IG as they take the first series. mouz, the Greek squad, formerly known as Ad Finum, they put up a good fight, but a tough first-round opponent, no doubt, here in this new Swiss format.